Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another anime review. Since it's the official kickoff to summer, I decided to review Natsu no Arashi, which literally in Japanese means summer storm. And our main character, Yasaka, he's a 13-year-old boy who goes to a coffee shop called the Ark to work during summer, and he meets a very unusual girl named Arashi, and apparently Arashi is a ghost from World War II, and when the ghost connects with somebody, they're able to exist within the real world, and they're ethereal beings and they can travel back into time, and it's really intriguing, and I love the storyline itself and the humor that's involved. There's always a guy in the arc that says, "Please pass the salt," and then there's this other guy next to him who's always with him. He looks like he's wearing a military hat with a gold star on it. He has long white hair, and I'm not sure what his significance is. Maybe it'll be revealed in the second volume, because it's the second volume of Summer Storm. And there's another ghost by the name of Kaya, who is Arashi's friend. She actually comes from Germany. They come from the same era, and I think they both died in a bombing, but Kaya is not able to connect with men. She's only able to connect with women. And there is one character, her name is June, and slight spoiler alert, sorry, but she has had a modeling gig and she wore boys' clothes, and being so flat chested, nobody else noticed, not even Yasaka. Yasaka was completely oblivious to it, and you think that he wouldn't be, because he's a student of physics, and he does experiments on fruit to make them have really incredible qualities that can render their victims completely helpless. Of course, they're just fine. They don't explode or anything, but in the very first episode, we see that with a strawberry bomb, which Arashi calls the cutie strawberry-chan, and I really thought that was hysterical. It was so funny because they go back in time in order to find it, because Kaya-chan loves sweets, and she's very serious about her sweets, and she wants that strawberry shortcake. It was actually promised to her by the Ark's store owner. She happens to be a con woman, and they call her Master. I don't know her real name, but she's a very intriguing character. All the characters are very interesting in and of their own ways, and it's just a very humorous series. And as we go along, we are introduced to Yayoi and Kanako at the very end, when they talk about a book that Kanako has read and she can't remember the title, and the character always has this catchphrase or this buzzword, and she says something really just completely random, and it doesn't even have anything to do with the story itself. It's just way out in left field. It's weird, but it's funny. And later on, we figure out more about them and how those two are linked to Yasaka and Arashi and Kaya and June. And there's another character named Shades, and Shades is a private detective, and he's sort of rough-hewn, but he's a good character. He has a really good heart. You figure that out much later in the series, and you realize that he just wants to be a hero. His father was saved by Arashi way back in 45, and his father was just a kid at that point in time. And Murasato, we figure out his name's Murasato, and he was actually named for Arashi and her heroism, and she inspired him to want to sacrifice himself for others, and I think that's really admirable, and it's very honorable as well. And there were some scenes in the anime itself that brought tears to my eyes. I was just bawling like a little baby. I won't tell you what they are, but as far as animes are concerned, I think this is just exquisite in the story and the animation and the characters. I love all the characters and the humor involved, and the seriousness and the aspect of traveling back in time. I love time travel because it fascinates me to no end. And the time paradoxes they talk about are just hysterical. In one episode, the master of Ark says, "I want you to go back in time, and I want you to exchange this milk, this expired milk, with a carton of milk that has not been expired. Oh wait, how about we go back 2 weeks in time?" And then Yasaka says, "Well, it won't have been packaged as of yet. It'll still be in the cow." And there's a lot of humor that goes into that, and they realize that no matter what they do, it's going to be the same. It's going to be expired milk no matter what course of action they try to take, and whatever diversionary tactic that June uses to get them out of the ark so they don't disappear and cause a rift in time and all that, ruin the fabric of space-time as a whole. And yeah, they follow the rules of space-time, which I thought was really good. But I'm excited to see Volume 2, to see what happens and what it entails and what the characters go through and their adventures, and just the situations that they get themselves into. And there's some fan service in this as well. This is really enjoyable. The very last scene has them doing their poses that they do in the beginning animation, and if you notice that, it's very deliberate. And they also do a parody of Yayoi and Kanako's banter about books when they have when we figure out more about their pasts, and it's very interwoven and just very intriguing as a story and anime itself. And I really love all the episodes, but one thing that was really hysterical to me, and that is so true to life, is when I think it's episode number 2, and I've been trying to find it here so I can post it for everybody to see, because there's one part of it that I just absolutely love. But as a whole series, I adore the whole thing. But Yasaka takes Arashi to an arcade, and she's never been to an arcade before, and she sees the plushies that are in the crane game, and of course Yasaka says, "Oh, the dreaded crane game. This device has been torturing men for years, stealing their money from them." And it's actually, he's right, but I think I just paraphrased it. But that is so true, because I would always love to play the crane games when I was little myself and try to get toys out of them. And one time I got lucky, but they do this really dramatic scene where Yasaka is mentioned as the captain, and he says, "Private Arashi, go and save our comrade. You know the one I'm looking for. He's trapped among all the others. You're his only hope. Go and save him." And she puts in her quarter, well, it's yen, and the crane hovers over the toy that she wants, and it goes down, and then it picks up the toy, and then you hear whoop, and she goes, "Ah, fail!" And it's so funny. But I just love that, because I think I've done that myself. I thought, oh my gosh, art imitates life. And yeah, I was just like Arashi in that instance, and I probably would have loved to have done that just in real life to be funny again, because it does happen. And anyway, I think it's a really hysterical anime, and a must for anybody who enjoys sci-fi and the whole idea of bending space-time and physics. And it's just so fascinating, I think. And World War II, of course, is mentioned. They don't sugarcoat it, which I appreciated. Girls were really conscripted to do work in that time. It was not a very pleasant time to exist, but there were times of what I would call just compassion and true humanity was revealed within. Actually, it's, you know, all periods of war can be summarized that way. The society's true soul, as it were, is revealed through the actions that they do to others, and it is really shown throughout this, and just how altruistic that Arashi is, and just the type of heroine that she is, and she's just an incredible character, and it's hard not to see why Yasaka is completely head over heels for her. And of course there's one character that you learn about him in the end. I'm not going to give away anything about him because it's interesting. They'll probably reveal more about him in the second volume, but he's a character that Yasaka wants to take revenge on because he feels that Arashi's getting too close to him, and this is in the first episode, and in the final episode, which is a lot like the first but different with more fan service, and it's just really a tremendous anime, and just it's beautiful to look at, and the music is terrific. I love the characters, and it's just talks about redemption, and there's something for everybody. There's romance, there's suspense, there's an eerie quality to it that kind of makes your hair stand on end with the ghost stories involved. There is a lot of subtle humor with, like I said, with the man always asking for the salt. That's kind of a running gag within the series, and it's just so hysterical. And I always laughed at that when I would see him. He'd say, "Hey, pass the salt." You never know who that guy is, and I guess he'll be in the second series. I don't know if they're going to reveal who he is or not, or if he has any significance to the series as a whole. Maybe he's just there to be funny as a character that has just a simple catchphrase, and you just remember him for that. And I might actually he's saying, "Hey, pass the salt," even though I don't use salt myself. That's because in one episode he said, "Salt, salt, pass the salt, please." And he keeps saying that, and it's just so funny. I forget what episode that is, but it's really a remarkable series, and I'm excited to see the second part, and I will do a review of that as soon as I see it. So stay tuned, everybody. Catch you on the flip side.